I do YouTube. Everybody turns like this. Then he asks, what type of videos do you make? I get the letter in the mail. Instantly, my mood is blown. At the time, I didn't know much about jury duty. The only thing I knew about it is that people don't want to do it. So instantly, I'm pissed. Because now your mind has to shift from your normal everyday life to, okay, I could possibly become a juror. And yeah, I wasn't happy. I had to scrounge around my closet for dress clothes. I ended up finding some khakis and a collared shirt. I'm reading the paper. I'm looking up and down the paper. And I see on the top, it says, you are a standby. So I was like, there's a possibility I don't get called in. So basically the day before, they give you a time to call in to see if they need you to go in. So that time was 4:30. I had to call at 4:30 to see if I had to go to the courthouse. 4:30 comes. I call the number. I'm waiting on the phone. Boom. It's an automated person talking. My last name starts with H-A. The message goes, if your last name is H through V, you have to come in for your... I said, no way. I'm like, bro, my heart sunk. I did not want to go in. I was hoping I didn't get called. So now my whole night's just thrown off. I got to go in as a standby tomorrow. I got to dress up nice. My whole routine just changed. The day of jury duty comes. I wake up. I drive to the courthouse. Parking lot's pretty big. A decent amount of cars in there. I get out my truck. I'm walking, collared shirt, khakis, dressed pretty nice. First dude I see, bro got on sweatpants and a white tee. I said, ain't no way. I said, please say I didn't overdress. I thought you were supposed to dress up. I'm looking around, people got shirts on, joggers. I'm like, bro, if I walk in here looking like a square, I'm gonna be mad. But then I started looking around a little more and I'm like, okay, people got, nice long sleeves on, dress pants. I was like, okay, that's more like it, So we walk in, they tell us take everything out of our pockets, anything metal, take off your belt. Don't know why, but I wasn't really expecting to take off my belt. I guess I didn't think too much about the whole security protocol. He's like, you're good. I get all my stuff, put my belt on, boom. Now it's time to head to the waiting room. I don't know what it is about cops or people of authority, but every time one of them sees me, they always feel the need to talk to me. I don't know what that is. Maybe I look approachable. I don't exactly remember what he talked to me about. It was just basic small talk, but it was actually cool having the interaction before I went in. So I'm walking through the courthouse. There are multiple rooms. There's an upstairs and then there's a downstairs. There are rooms at every corner and turn of this building. And when you look in, they're not like the big courtrooms you see on TV, but they're like miniature versions of that. I'm sure there was a bigger main courtroom in there somewhere, but mainly all the rooms are just like where the judge sits, the jury box. They might have a stand. Then on the other side is where the lawyers are. And then in the back, when you first walk in, is where all the, people sit or whoever. So I'm walking around downstairs trying to find the room that I'm supposed to report at. I walk all the way to the end. I'm at like room 202 or something. The numbers are going up as I go straight. So I'm thinking, oh, if I just walk down, I'll find it. No, I had to walk all the way back. Found out it's upstairs, so I took the escalator upstairs, walk all the way to the back of the upstairs, and finally find my room. I walk in, there's a line leading to a desk. And at the desk, people are handing the lady their jury duty sheets that they signed with all their information on it. And I look to the right, and there are all the standby jurors seated. There were about, I don't even know how many people were in this room, but it was a decent amount of people. Probably, if I had to guess, probably like, I kid you not, like 30 or 40 people. The most diverse group of NPCs I've ever seen. I mean, we had old, young, black, white, orange, brown, yellow, red. It was everybody there. It was a pretty good mix of people. And it's funny because instantly you are able to tell the main characters. There was this black lady, looked to be about 35 or so. She was carrying around a laptop, very antsy, asking people at the desk questions, very friendly, but just moving around a lot. And I'm like, okay, if she gets picked, she's gonna be a character. Which honestly, if I get picked, I want to be in a room with a bunch of people that are, interesting. I feel like in jury duty, you want some characters in the room. You want it to make it interesting. You don't want it to be boring the whole time. So it's her. There's another middle-aged white lady. She has her little crossword puzzle. She's saying hi to people as they walk by. She has like this suit vest on. People are going up to the desk asking them questions, and she's like answering them. We'll get into her line of work later, but let's just say she's accustomed with how things work. There's like an older guy in the far back, like half asleep. There's some young people in there. It's a very diverse group of people. So that put me at ease because I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter who you are, you can get selected for this thing. So I get to the desk, I give her my information, everything I wrote down. She's like, you can take a seat. There's bathrooms in there. There's about 2 tables you can sit at. On the right side, the side I went to, there's a front row and there's a row behind me. I sit on the front row towards the back. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching people come in, hand in their sheets. I look around, I realize I messed up. On the sheet, it says you should bring a book with you or like a crossword puzzle or whatever it might be. I didn't look at that sheet. I was like, I'm gonna bring my phone with me. I'll be fine. Did not know how long I would be there that day. I started off on my phone, then quickly realized how fast my battery was draining. Disclaimer, my phone's battery is a little older and I do have to get a new one, but that day was the day that I realized how bad I needed a new phone. Mind you, I walked in there, I'm at like 98%, so I'm on my phone a little bit. About 30 to 40 minutes pass by. The guy behind the desk comes around the desk to talk to everybody and he says, all right guys, we're just gonna wait a little while longer. The judge doesn't need you guys just yet, but you guys will be going in there soon. Lies. So I'm sitting there, another Another 30-40 minutes goes by. I look down at my phone. I'm not on 98% anymore. I'm at like 70%. So I turn my phone off. I'm sitting there and I'm just looking around, looking at the walls, looking at the plants, finding anything I can focus my attention on to pass time. If you're ever going to jury duty or something like this where you have to wait, don't be too cool. Bring a book, bring a crossword, bring whatever you have to bring some work, bring a portable charger, bring a laptop, whatever you have to do. Do not be me. Because at that point, anything would have kept me occupied. I got my earbuds in, but my battery is draining fast, so I turn my phone off. Now I'm just sitting there looking at stuff, trying to look busy, just trying to look like I'm unfazed, just looking at random objects. I'm doing the whole shebang. I'm LARPing as a nonchalant dude. I get up, use the bathroom, check the time, still no call to head to the court. Mind you, we got there at about 9:30. It's about 11:45 now. The guy comes around, he says, okay, we're gonna send you guys to lunch. What do you mean send us to lunch? Tell the judge to get ready. So he's like, yeah, you can either eat here or you can leave to eat and come back. We're gonna come back in about, an hour. So now not only is my battery draining, but now we have to wait a whole hour. But on the bright side, we got to get let out. I went to Wendy's. I don't know if they're doing this in you guys' area, but there's like a AI ordering service now. And the lady in front of me, she didn't know that. But she's like, yeah, give me a chicken sandwich meal and a drink. And the AI thing wasn't responding to her, and she's looking around so confused. She's like, hello? She said hello about 5 times. Finally, the person on the other end was like, hi, ma'am, and took her order. But yeah, that was just kind of funny. I drove, found a place to park, ate my food, waited an hour, came back to the courthouse. So now I'm walking back into the courthouse. We have to do the whole check again. So this time I see the same cop that I talked to earlier. And at this point, I want to go home. So me and the cop talk a little bit, and then I go, hey, man, when do standby jurors usually, when does it get to that time where they can, head home? When do you think we're gonna be leaving? He says, you've been here since about 9:30. It's about 1 now. I give it about 30-40 more minutes. Boy, was he lying. I go, okay, grab my stuff. Time to head back upstairs. Boom, I make it back upstairs. We're all up there waiting for, I kid you not, another 40 minutes. We finally get called to go to the courtroom. We're downstairs, the 2 officers open the doors, and we walk in single file line. We're seated in the back area where the public sits. We're not in the jury box yet. They have to call certain people to go up to the jury box. We're sitting there, the judge is like, okay, I'm gonna call some of you up here to the jury box. When I call you, please stand up. The officer will lead you to where you're supposed to sit. Guess who the first person is they call? So I get up, I walk to the jury box. She tells me to sit at the end. I sit down. The judge goes, oh, no, walk all the way down here, sir. Already I'm messing up. I get to where I'm supposed to sit. The lady officer goes, sorry, I lied to you. So they call about 12 to 15 other people up. There are papers on each and every one of our seats that have questions on them. The judge goes, okay, Justin, I'm gonna start with you. I'm gonna ask you the questions on the paper. Then I want everybody after you to look on their own paper and answer the questions themselves. He's asking a bunch of questions like, do you live in a city, a suburban area? What's your occupation? Do you have any friends or relatives involved in law enforcement? Just stuff like that. I answer my questions. They start going down the line. This is when the day gets entertaining. I wasn't aware that people will try to get out of jury duty on the spot, right? Like the judge will be asking you the questions, especially the question where it's like, do you know anybody involved in law enforcement? Do you talk to these people about cases, etc.? I remember this one guy wanted to get out of it so bad. He was like, planned a vacation a couple months ago and we actually leave tomorrow, so this is just a big misunderstanding. The judge is like trying to dig deeper into like the vacation. One lady said she had to take care of her kids. Judge wasn't going for that. They finally got to one guy. He had it all planned out. The judge asked him, do you have any friends or so-and-so in law enforcement? And he goes, yes, I do, Judge. Do you talk to these friends about cases ever? The guy goes, I'm gonna be honest with you, I do. So the judge then goes, okay, well, you do know if you get put on this case, you can't talk to them about anything. My word is law. The guy goes, I understand that, but sometimes, when we're just talking, we're out, stuff just comes up, stuff just slips out. I can't promise that I'm not gonna talk to them about the case. You can tell the judge is getting irritated. He's like, but you do understand, if you are asked to be on the jury, you cannot say anything, despite your past conversations, despite your past habits. This guy's not budging. He's like, I understand, but I just don't know. That guy ended up not getting picked. So that's what I'm saying. Some of these people that end up in the jury box, they know how to maneuver their way out of not getting picked, but it's safer to just answer truthfully, not try to mess with the system. But I mean, it worked for him. They get to this one girl. She was like typical rich girl that you see in the movies. And when the judge is asking her about residencies and where if she like owns or rents or if her parents own or rent, she goes, owns. And then it was funny because the judge asked something complete. I forgot what he asked specifically, but he had something completely different off topic about their residency. And she just pre-fires that her family has 2 lake houses. And everybody's kind of like what? Like, that's not what he asked. And she goes, oh, never mind. But everybody that was up there was just characters. So after we answer all the questions, then it's time for the lawyers to ask any questions if they have any. So one of the lawyers stands up and he decides to ask us, what would we do with our free time if we had more free time? This caught me so off guard because I was the first one to answer. So he shoots the question at me. I panic. I bring up my YouTube channel. I didn't say the name, but I bring up that I have a YouTube channel. He goes, Justin, what would you do with your free time if you had it allotted to you? Caught me so off guard. I go, I do YouTube. Everybody turns like this. Then he asks, what type of videos do you make? I go, commentary.
Really, I like to think of it as variety.
But commentary, variety, it's whatever. They go down the line. I'm the only one with an answer like this. Sorry for answering something other than hanging with my friends, going to the beach. On my free time, I don't know, I like reading. I like playing an instrument, which are cool, you know, it's cool hobbies, but it's like, they looked at me like I was crazy, bro. We go down the line. Finally, we get to this older black lady. The one that I was talking about earlier that she's like was really antsy in the room, asking a lot of questions. She goes, well, I would work on my YouTube channel. And I went, huh? And he asked her what he asked me. What do you make videos on? She goes, I make videos for women going through relationship problems. And you know, that kind of gets some glances from the people. Not as much as mine did. Maybe it's because I was first to answer. So we answer all the questions. This one guy worked for this tech company, and he knew a ton of people in the field and law enforcement, etc. We answer all the questions. The judge, he starts reading off the names. I was the first name to get read off. He goes, Justin, please stand. So-and-so, please stand. So-and-so, please stand. He gets through like 12 to 15 people. He says something along the lines of, congratulations, you guys are now our jurors. I'll make sure this is a good experience. Thank you for your time. And then boom, it's over. We're the jurors. So we all exit the courtroom. Police officer comes out, hands us our checks, $35 for the day. It is what it is. Better than nothing, right? And we go home. The good thing is we don't have to be there the next day until 10:30. Got to sleep in a little bit. Judge says tomorrow I'm gonna have breakfast for you guys in the room. You're gonna get to order lunch. We're gonna give you guys a sheet from this lunch place. You can circle what you want, and then we're gonna go get it for you, bring it back to you guys. The next day comes, it's day 2 now. They have us walk to the back side of the courthouse. You can't just open the doors. Somebody has to open it for you, whether that's a cop, somebody that has the key, etc. When you go through the back door, they have their own set of metal detectors, scanners, and the cop is waiting for you when you're done. She then takes me through a back hallway, through a door to where everybody else is seated. And we're in this room with a rectangle table. There is breakfast there, but the breakfast is not like I imagined. There was bagels, coffee, some water, some juice. It was still something though, you know what I mean? But he was making it sound like it was gonna be some grand breakfast. He was like, I will have breakfast for you guys tomorrow. Be hungry, 10:30 sharp. It was bagels and some juice and some water, like, but I still had a bagel, you know? So we all get in there, we're sitting at this rectangle table. Now we're talking, now everybody's kind of talking to each other a little bit. I wonder what the day's gonna be like. I wonder how long we're gonna wait this time. And we're kind of all getting to know each other a little bit. Remember when I was talking about the lady that had the vest on earlier? She's already taken control of the whole situation. She knows everything about everything. She knows what's going on. She's like, well, they could possibly have us until this time, and the judge probably has this many cases to do, so we're probably gonna be waiting for around this amount of time. She's, no offense, but she's like the typical know-it-all, you know, but she's cool. She's cool. She's really nice to everybody. And we're all sitting there. The cop brings us the paper with the food on there, with the lunch menu on there, and we're all circling what we want. There's an older white guy sitting next to me, really cool guy, but I noticed that he didn't circle anything on the paper. So I was like, okay, I guess some people just aren't getting anything. We're waiting in there. An hour goes by. Another hour goes by. At this point, we're like, what's going on? There's no way they're gonna have us waiting here for this long again. The cop walks in and says, okay, guys, you can walk in the courtroom. So we're like, yes, finally. At this point, I think we're all just ready to be involved with the case. I think we're all just ready to start and actually see what's going on, because we've been bored for this long. We might as well look forward to something, you know what I mean? Me personally, I was looking forward to it. I'm already here. We already got this far as day 2. Let's get into it. We walked into the room. The judge says, I apologize, guys. There's been an emergency, so I'm gonna have to send you back in the room you were waiting in. And we'll resume after lunch. Instant groans from all the jurors. This 2-day process has just been us just waiting, getting called in, waiting. So we go back in the room. We're waiting for another 30 minutes. And lunch comes, and you know, we get our stuff. I ordered a cheeseburger. It was a really good menu too. So everybody's eating. We're kind of talking a little. People are on their phones. Some people brought their books and stuff. And I noticed the older guy but I noticed the older guy to my left doesn't have any food. And I'm looking, and he's like kind of looking over at my food. The lady with the vest, she's handing out everything. She's like, okay, who got this? Who got this? She's on top of it. I already knew she was gonna be on top of it. She's handing everything out. Everybody has food, but the guy to my left, the older guy. First I asked him, I was like, oh, did you get anything? And he goes, oh, no, I didn't get anything. And I was like, okay, he wasn't hungry or something. But halfway through while we're all eating, I see him like peeking over at everybody's food, especially mine, because he's like right next to me. I can feel his eyes just peeking over at my food. So I offer him some fries. I said, you want some of these fries right here? He goes, no, thank you though. And I go, okay. Continues just staring down my meal. But yeah, we're all eating, everybody's talking a little bit, and we're all under the impression that we're gonna be able to go into the courtroom very soon. Still nothing. We're in there, sitting there, bored again. At this point, people are looking out the windows, they're fiddling with their hands. At this point, we're all just losing our sanity. People are taking naps, falling asleep. I took like 2 naps. Finally, the cop comes in again. She says the judge will now have you guys. You could just hear groans of happiness and excitement, because we're all ready to, you know, hop into it, get into any type of stimulation that we can get. So we walk out there. I promise you guys, we're sitting in the box. The judge goes, I apologize to you all. I understand I've wasted your time, but the case has been dismissed. We're all stunned. We're all looking around at each other like, are you serious? We have 2 days of just waiting all for the case to get dismissed at the last second after lunch. He says, yeah, this is a very rare occurrence. This has never happened before. I'll meet with you guys in the room, talk to you guys a little bit on what happened, but I apologize for wasting you guys' time. We go back in the room. Everybody's kind of laughing, talking a little bit like, well, at least we get to leave. The judge comes in and explains that it was something involving property damage or a property damage report. Apparently the driver of a truck that had cargo in it was set to reach a destination at a certain time. The owner of the truck or the owner of the company thought that the truckload was missing or damaged because it hadn't gotten there on time because the driver had fell asleep in the cabin. When the owner found this out, he decided not to press charges. Nobody came to court, so it was a dismissed. So the trial was dismissed. He walked in, talked to us, cracked a few jokes with us. He was a pretty funny guy. I don't know if that's like a requirement for judges, but I feel like the really good ones that I've seen always have a unique characteristic about them, or they're just really good at their job. But he was a really cool dude. I wish I would have got a picture with him, but we got dismissed. We got our checks again for the day. And yeah, we left the building through the back entrance. And if I'm being honest, it was kind of a weird feeling. I mean, you had only known these people for 2 days, but at the same time, you spent a decent amount of time like with them, you know, and talk to them. Like there were these 2 older ladies that I was talking to a lot. Like we would be in the room cracking jokes, you know. It was kind of like a cool environment. And I think what added to that was like the diversity of the group and the fact that we were all there for the same reason and that most of us did not want to be there. Well, everybody didn't want to be there. But towards the end, we kind of did want to be there because, you know, we're already there. We wanted to go through with the case, go through with the trial. But yeah, it was kind of a weird feeling walking out, kind of a bittersweet feeling, as weird as that sounds. Overall, the experience was pretty boring, but I wouldn't say it was a bad experience. If anything, it was pretty cool, and it would have been cooler if we actually got to be a part of the hearing. But technically, I got to say I was a juror. Technically, that's what he told us. That's what the judge told us. If any of those jurors ever see this video, hey, you guys were all pretty cool, you know? If I talked about you a little bit, you know, that's just how it goes. I thought all of you were cool. Everybody was chill there. We were all just trying to get in and get out, do our thing. And I hope everybody's doing well. If you stayed through the whole video, if you liked this video, leave a like, you know what I'm saying? If you subscribe, no. If you like the video, leave a like. If you want to see more content, subscribe, you know what I'm saying? It won't hurt you, subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate you guys for watching, I really do. And we're only going up. I keep saying that every video, but we are. Big things to come, more content very, very soon, as always, obviously, duh. And yeah, I'm Justin Volt. I'll see you guys.